the stretch, 6 games. You got Bemidji, and then of course a little road trip. Talk about the situation. You're kind of bunched up with 3-4 other teams right now, around that number 9 or 10 spot, and they're maybe fighting for the 8. This is probably a good way to finish the season because your team's going to have to play it out to try to get in.
Yeah, we kind of control our own destiny doing it this way. Right now we're sitting at 11, and you got to get to 10. And the 2 games tomorrow with Bemidji are must wins. If we can get those 2, then all 4 teams on that last weekend, Mary and Minot State, we travel and we swap partners over the weekend. We play Duluth and St. Cloud, and those are the teams battling for those last 2 spots. So it's going to be very important. But at least if we take care of our business and win 5 out of 6, I figure we'll be in. And then there's kind of a wild card in there too. Southwest Minnesota State's sitting there at 14-10 right now, but they've got 6 games left, like we do. But they play Mankato, Winona, and Upper Iowa, 3 really good teams. So there's a lot of things that happened in that last weekend.
How about the matchup with Bemidji tomorrow? How do you feel about that?
They're going to be tough, and we lost another player today. Riley Sagan got hit in the head with a fastball on Sunday, and we reevaluated her, and it's determined to be a concussion, and so she's out. So that'll change things a little bit for us. And we played Bemidji earlier this year. They were ahead of us for about 4 or 5 innings. They've got a much improved team, and I think Melissa Bell hit a grand slam that game to give us the lead and win it for us. But we can't take anybody lightly, and anybody in this league can beat anybody on a given day. So, and with us being banged up, Spencer, she's going back in for more x-rays today. I don't think we'll have her back. Sarah Nix got a couple at bats this weekend, but I don't think she can throw yet. And Allie Gallant, she's still out, and now Sagan's out. So losing 4 players makes it tough, not only subbing and maneuvering wise with your team, but we depend on those kids to play defense for us too. So it's going to be a must win and tight game, I'm sure.
I'll direct this question to both of you. Maybe start with you, Melissa. You guys had won 5 straight before you played Mankato. Mankato was always going to be a tough opponent. To lose those games, are you still feeling pretty confident about where your team is at and how you're playing? You've been winning more often than you've been losing in recent games, and so I guess what's this team's confidence as you now look forward to what's going to be the most important stretch of the season?
Definitely, we didn't want to lose those games against Mankato because that does make this week that much more important. But with where our team's at and where we're playing, we just got to make sure and get those key hits when we get players on, and if we can play as a team as a whole on defense, pitching, and offense, I think it looks very good for us this week, and we just got to perform the way we can.
Coach, what was your assessment of that Mankato series? I know you were up in game 1, you were in both games, but to lose them both, I guess where do you go from here?
Well, I think pushing those teams that are in 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th place, the best teams in the region. We had Winona down twice in the 7th and in the 6th, and we've beaten Augie once and had them down late. For us to be able to push those teams tells us we're a pretty good team. And to go into this last weekend, when we start 4 seniors, it's they go into it a little differently, and it's their last go around, and they want to win in the worst way. And I'm not worried one bit about us being ready to play or being intense the rest of the way out. It would have been nice to win those Mankato games, but they're a very, very good team, and I think they deserve to win. They came up with 2 home runs at clutch times, and we had runners in scoring position, 2nd and 3rd, bases loaded with less than 2 outs about 6 times, and we didn't get it done. So we actually, I think our bats did it to ourselves, but I think that maybe the next day and the day after that, those bats are going to be hot. I mean, it's hard to always come through, and when you got a sophomore and a freshman in the 4 and 5 hole, getting a lot of that experience, I think they'll be okay. And if they get those same opportunities tomorrow as they got on Sunday, I think they'll drive them in. We just believe in them. So, but I think the senior leadership is going to be very important down the stretch.
One of the reasons that I wanted Mindy to be here, and I wanted your take too, as her catcher, been throwing a lot for you. I know she threw all 14 against Concordia. Started another game, made a relief appearance against Mankato. You guys have clearly been bitten by the injury bug here in recent weeks. Can't seem to catch a break. And your announcement about Riley's injuries, evidence to that. But you seem pretty confident in letting Mindy pitch a number of innings. Do you feel that she's capable of continuing that pace? Because certainly you got a couple more games to go, and surely she'll be a big part of whether you guys win or lose those games. Just feel good about her status.
I agree. Melissa can attest to this too, and I'll let her go in a second. But Minnie's done that before. It's been her history. She beat Winona twice last year at home, won all 14. She's gone back-to-back on road trips in Florida. We've kind of prepared. I always like my number one pitcher to be able to do that, whether it's been Greenberg or Friesen or Kayla Mitchell or whoever that is. Throwing a softball is a lot different than throwing a baseball, and sometimes you run into pitchers that can throw all day, and Mindy can handle that, especially now that Cornejo's got some injury and Spencer, our another pitcher's out, so Mindy's got to carry a bigger load, but she embraces that. She wants that, and it's her last go around, so I think she could go 3 games in a day if we asked her to. Don't you agree, Melissa?
Definitely, yeah. No, Mindy's very confident and good on the mound. That she's definitely a pitcher that as soon as she gets into game 2, it's like it's a totally new game, and she's revived and ready for the next one. It's not like you can feel her wear down as the day goes on. She's definitely, inning by inning, gets stronger and stronger as she goes on.
So when she's going into inning 12 or 13 against Concordia, for example, the other day, no signs of fatigue for her at all?
No, definitely not. That's just the kind of pitcher she is.
Melissa, as you look at this team last year, you've been on this team, but what do you kind of compare this squad to last year? Do you guys feel that you're in a similar position as far as your ability right now? Do you feel that everyone is at the top of their game getting into the stretch here?
I think overall it's definitely a different team than it was last year. Last year we were very much more top heavy when it came to age. We had 4 seniors that played a lot, and then also my class played a lot, while we then relied on just a couple freshmen. While I feel like this year we're definitely more reliant on the youngers to step it up, and I think our ability is definitely there, but definitely we're in a different position coming into the tournament, so it's definitely a different mindset going into every game.
Yeah, I see 2 different teams totally. Last year's team, I believe, won 29 games throughout the entire season. I think we're sitting at 29 wins already with this team. But we had seniors last year, like Jen Dixon was a big-time player, and she could drive it in, and she always came through in the clutch. And we had more speed up and down the lineup, with Katie Bacchus and Jen Dixon and Jordan Grant and Melissa Bell and Allie Seigan and stuff. We're more of a station-to-station team, and except for our top 3, Grant and Bell and Seigan are all great base runners. But the bottom part of the order, it's kind of a different team, probably more home runs and more power and sit back, but in all, both teams are very hard to beat, and both teams are capable of beating you on a given day. So even though the record's the same, the teams were a lot different.